I want to first of all deal with the traditional timeline. In 445 BC, Nehemiah basically kicked it off. This timeline runs through for 483 years, and it goes through to the time when Christ was crucified. And that was, let's say, 32 AD. And that's where it's more or less done. We're talking about, in total, 70 weeks. So 69 weeks have been done, and there's 1 week to go. So that's it.
So traditional timeline, what do you mean by that?
The traditional timeline really to do with, that's what the churches and everybody talks about, because they haven't realised that there's actually 2 other timelines. And that's what we want to bring to everybody's attention.
And the second timeline is the one that's been unsealed. And that goes from Cyrus, 538. It goes on to, has a pause at 332 when Alexander the Great overthrew Jerusalem. It starts again at 138 when Simon Thassi, the Hasmonean, was allowed to restart and rebuild Jerusalem. And then it goes on to 70 AD when the Romans destroyed Jerusalem. There's a pause then right up until 1967 in the Six-Day War. That's when the last 70 years starts. Right up until 2036, that's the 70 years.
70 years is a biblical generation. And in the first part of that timeline, there were 3 generations of 70 years. In the second part, another 3. So at the time of the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, 6 generations had passed. 1967 is the start of the final and 7th generation of 70 years.
And the first 2 timelines are the big ones. Yep. 538 one starts, 445 the other starts, and they go right up. And the last one, the Antichrist one, is just a little timeline.
It's only it's at
the end.
Correct,
Yep.
and it's nothing to do with Daniel's timelines whatsoever. And if you work on 70 years from 7th of June 1967, and you take it through to the end time, which is the in 2036, take off 7 years, you'll come out at 2029. That's the start of Daniel's timeline, the final week.
Yeah, Satan's playing with the timeline. He's trying to stuff things up in the end.
And he's doing a good job. Because what I understand you're saying is the only way you're ever going to lock down Daniel's 70th week is by knowing the second timeline, the one that gets you to 2036, which is what you guys discovered. And so if the churches don't know about that timeline, they're going to be chasing and chasing and chasing that final week, which is and will remain forever elusive to them, right? Like that Hall of Mirrors. You know the Hall of Mirrors?
Yeah, or those movies where a woman starts running down a long passageway and the passageway stretches into infinity, so she'll never reach the end. Satan has the churches chasing their own tail like a dog chasing cars. Meanwhile, everybody's missing out on our second timeline. And the irony of it all is, hey, idiots, get over here. Watch our videos and you'll discover, 7 years beginning in 2029. So really, Satan's got everyone out on a great big huge wild goose chase, but there's no goose at the end of it all, and there's no end to the chase. Oh, you want the golden egg? Sure, read Daniel chapter 9 verse 27. Fall into the great deception where you're thinking, I've got a chip in the big game now. Meanwhile, Satan does the Melbourne Shuffle, basically leaving them without a chair when the music stops, but they're all so caught up in it because there are a gazillion false prophets hyping it all up. But yes, chasing the mythological non-existent Antichrist week is one of the oldest and longest running cons ever known to man. I mean, while you're at it, why not take a cruise on a cargo ship carrying oil and run by an alcoholic skipper who likes to play slalom with the icebergs? It ain't too long before he hits one, spills the oil and kills all the sea life in the North Atlantic. So now you're out of work, you can't afford to drive, you're walking to the job interviews, you're starving and you want to get a bite to eat, but it sucks because the only blue plate special they're serving is North Atlantic scrod with Quaker State.
Sorry, I wake up.
Giving the viewer a timeline.
You're right, though.
If you follow that 445 BC to 32 AD, you've got that 1 week. You're always looking for that 1 week. You're not looking for that generation. If you got it right and you're looking for a generation, then it all fits into place. Satan doesn't want you to find that. You've got to get to the generation, if we deal with the generation 1967 to 2036 and take off 7 years, you've got it. But conventional wisdom is, and traditionalists are looking for this floating week, and Satan is actually is blocking them actually, because it's a floating week of getting it, because it's a distraction from finding the final generation.
Yeah, it's like what Brian said.
Which part?
The part where Murray falls asleep. Yeah, no, Satan has the churches running around like a dog chasing cars.
Or a dog chasing its own tail?
They're hunting around for the Antichrist week instead of the actual week, which is actually there on the...
Yeah, but how do you cut through the barrage of misinformation on social media?
It's actually caused a distraction for the churches, because they've gone from 32 AD with a floating week and trying to find a place to put it.
All right, I think that about covers the Antichrist week. I'm beginning to feel like I'm in a bad episode of Star Trek. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I was in the park yesterday and I was wondering why a frisbee gets bigger and bigger the closer it gets? And then it hit me. Okay, so what's the simple solution for the churches?
All they need to do is focus on 7th of June 1967, 70 years on, and you've got the end, take off 7 years, and you've got Daniel's final week. So it's all simple as that.